Alright, so I still haven't figured out what's going on, you guys. It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games. So in regards to what you guys been asking about, I just barely figured out how to even do this online. I don't know how to show my front facing camera where it displays my face yet. So as I do this, I'm still not going to be able to show my face, which, again, for me, I'm gonna learn how to do that, but for right now, if you guys notice, almost all my videos, I don't show my face anyways. All you see is mostly my hands, so I feel like it's really not that big of a deal. But what I'm gonna do today, you guys, is I'm actually gonna be putting Dark Magician to the test. So I grinded with Dark Magician, and hey babe, be careful closing the door. I grinded with Dark Magician, and I got a bunch of duels with it. No, I didn't win every game. That's why I said I'm putting Dark Magician to the test. So I'm going to show the replays where I won and lost. Not just only the replays where I just win. I know a lot of channels do that. But I'm just going to show how good Dark Magicians are as it stands. Now, obviously, the build could change. But right now, Kingston, relax. But right now, I'm just testing the build that I have. So I'm going to get right into it. Let me, how do I hide this widget? Oh, yeah, I just click out of it. There we go. So I go up here. And what I'm gonna start with is, so as you guys can see, I got duels with Dark Magician versus Eldlich Myakashi versus some Burning Abyss Infinite Negate deck that was using the Mist Valley cards. Blue Eyes and Blue Eyes Chaos Max. I got quite a few duels against Chaos Max and Blue Eyes. Surprisingly, Dark Magician is really good against that deck. The Infinite Negate, he ended up getting game 3. I got some duels against Crusadia, against this Cyber's Turbo deck, against Cyber Dragons, against Dinosaurs, against Evil Eyes, against Altergeist, and against this Kaiju deck, and against Madolches, even against Shadalls and Sky Strikers. So what I'll do here, let's see. So which duel to pick first is the question. So I guess since it's classic, we'll start the Dark Magician versus Blue Eyes. That's like I remember I was saying in this video, I'm putting Dark Magician to the test. So I'm seeing how good the deck is. So I'm going to go ahead and click Blue Eyes. We're going to go into this replay and then pause. So my opening hand is not as incredible as it could be. I do have Soul Servant, which allows me to stack, and I have Allure to draw, so I don't even need my grave setup for Soul Servant to banish yet. I have Inheritance, so this hand is not optimal, but it can become a really good hand depending on what Allure draws. I already know what I'm guaranteed getting off Servant, and I have already Dark Magician Girl, so that if I stack, for example, Magician's Rod, I don't have to immediately banish it. And I already have Navigation, so all I need to do at this point is just get access to Dark Magician. I can get my engine online. So you guys will see, and Navigation is a really strong card. It's very impactful in Dark Magicians, because in your grind games, when you haven't seen access to Rod yet, you could just use Navigation to special summon Rod from your graveyard. Then once Rod gets in your graveyard, now that's basically like your Sky Striker Ace Ray. You're just going to keep grinding, using him from grave, adding him for your follow-up. So I really like Navigation setup turn 1. It's stronger than Soul. It's more aggressive. It gets you a negation follow-up, and it allows you to set up and optimize your plays a lot better. Soul's a little bit more susceptible to disruptions, and it's not going to give you as much of a board presence. So it's really nice that I already opened the Navigation, because turn 1 I try to prioritize getting access to it anyways. And what I try to do also is set up Magician's Combination. I actually play that card. It's really strong. That's why I have Dark Magician Girl in my deck. So I'm going to press play. I'm playing Blue Eyes. You see his opening hand, Keeper of Dragon Magic, Alternative, Poly, and Trade-In. I don't know what's going on with this Blue Eyes build. This is not a conventional one. I think conventional Blue Eyes are using Needle Fiber cards, Needle Fiber and O-Line like everybody else now. But press play. So I'll go ahead and press play. So as you see, I went Soul Servant straight up for Rod. Rod is super important. Rod's the strongest normal summon in the deck. So I already drew a Dark Magician. I got really lucky, so then I went Rod for Circle, because now Navigation becomes an interruption. As you see, I was forced to banish my, unfortunately, I was forced to banish my Dark Magician Girl, because I wanted to keep the Dark Magician. Honestly, for a hindsight play, because I ended up seeing Combination, what I should have done, but I think actually the Allure got to the Rod and the Dark Magician anyways. Let me go back to make sure. I'm going to confirm that. Because basically what I was going to say is I could have just, shoulda, coulda, woulda just banished Dark Magician, since I have multiples of him but only one Dark Magician Girl. So I went Allure into, okay, so the Allure drew that. Okay, so the Allure drew the Dark Magician, so I should have banished him and then kept the Dark Magician Girl, so that way I could just use him to search for Illusion Magic, activate it, tribute him to get 2 more Dark Magicians, and then at that point what I would do is activate Inheritance and get Circle anyways. That's what I should have done, honestly. for a hindsight play. So as you guys see, as I'm playing these, showing these replays, I'm showing plays that I could have done better as I'm kind of just watching myself play it out. So that's a play I should have done that would have been a lot stronger, is go for Illusion Magic, banish this, keep her, go for Illusion Magic, because you always want to make sure combination and Dark Magician's the fusion get the most value. So go for Illusion, tribute him, search 2 more, and then activate Inheritance, banish the Illusion and the Allure to get the circle anyway. So I end up with a better setup than I ended with right now. So you'll see. So Circle ended up hitting the combination. I think that was the only card that it saw, and then I just kept, you know, the rest of my deck stacked. So as you see, he goes straight in. He draws evenly matched. I kept my navigation. I felt like that was the strongest card to keep. Even though Rod is important in Grave, I just need something to keep my board presence. As you see, he tries to banish the navigation. I chain it, get my Dark Magician. The reason why I summon him in attack is because it puts a mind game on him where he has to attack into this. And if he doesn't know what this does, which, you know, not everybody's going to read, he would just end up losing out to the battle phase with her effect. So then, as you see, I go Knowledge. I sent the Dark Magician away. So the reason why I sent the Dark Magician away is because the idea that I had was to basically use her to tribute to attack over the Dragon Spirit of White. I just didn't want him to keep any board presence at all. So as you see, if I go backwards to previous plays, what ended up happening was the Knowledge ended up drawing me like an insane hand. So the Knowledge sent away the Dark Magician. I didn't want to send her away because I really wanted to actually use her effect. So I just sent him away, and you see what I ended up drawing. It was actually insane. I drew a Rod and a Shadow, which is incredible. So I went for the Fusion because at this point I'm just going aggressive. So I used him, I tributed her to attack over the Dragon Spirit of White. And then I have Combination and the Fusion. Well, it's not the Fusion, but it's the Secrets. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually set up to get Rod Engraved so that I can trigger one of my effects on my opponent's turn. As you can see, trying to trigger one of my effects on my opponent's turn to basically go Soul to bring back Dark Magician, triggering the Rod, which will then tribute the Dark Magician, summon him out, and then that would trigger Circle's effect to banish, and then I could use his effect to bring back the Dark Magician. So I get Rod back to my hand for free, and I get free interruptions, and I basically still have the float. But he just ended up not only scooping, he exited out of his app. That's why it says Lost Connection. In this, whenever you see Lost Connection, that means your opponent just left. They exited the app because they didn't want to play game 2 or 3. So now I'm going to go to Chaos Max. I'll go to game 1 here. So my hand, as you can see, is insane, you guys. I opened Secrets, Navigation, Soul Servant, Knowledge, and Instant Fusion. I do play Instant Fusion in this build. Just for the one of Restrict, it kind of gives me a flex spot for going second, and also sometimes going first. It gets you that one extra body you need, so you can summon out Celine. Because once you get Celine set up, once you get Celine, then she could just constantly keep recurring your Dark Magician's Fusion monster, and she can even recur your Illusion, the Shadow, and then trigger him to bring back Dark Magician. So Celine sets up for a follow-up rank 7. So it's kind of like when you want to go aggressive, you should. And also Celine turbos into what's his name? I'm trying to remember the card's name right now. Axis Code Talker. So I kind of like, I want my build to be aggressive, and I like this better than the what's that spell card that you pay 1,000 and special summon a dark from hand or graveyard. I like it better than that card because honestly it's better going second, and I think it's Dark Magic Veil is the card I'm talking about. So tribute him, draw 2. I ended up going for Rod for Illusion Magic because I need to set up my navigation. So as you can see, navigation also could summon Dark Magician Grow from my deck. So it could set up combination potentially for the future, because what I could do is use the Fusion to actually summon her. So if I pause right here, that's what I should have done, because as I was realizing, I went for Dark, but I should have never went for the Shadow. I should have went, this is what I should have done: Navigation for Dark Magician, summon out Dark Magician Girl, and then activate the Fusion to go into the Dark Magicians using Girl and you know, for example, the Rod, and basically, I'm sorry, or whichever one. I could even just use Dark Magician himself, because this still becomes Dark Magician on field once I resolve it. So basically fuse, getting Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician in grave. Also keep in mind, combination can actually tribute him and reborn him from grave. It's so weird how it works, but basically I was going to set up for the Fusion and the Dark Magicians, and then that's going to turn my combination on as an Omni Negate. So I should have done that to set up better interruptions, but instead I just went for a less of a tempo swing. But honestly, okay, my love, that's what I should have done. I should have just used this, because look at what I ended up having to do. And that right there, that's why I feel like that was not an optimal play. So if you notice, he does have 2 ritual spells, but Honestly, for me, as I was saying, I really should have set up the navigation for Dark Magician Girl and then fuse with her and the Dark Magician that I summon off navigation into him, which would then trigger the Magician of Dark Illusion, the Shadow, to summon him onto the field. And then at any time, basically, then I could just use, for example, like combination. And when I activate combination, I can just activate it, use illusion to bring back Dark Magician, then use this tribute effect, bring back, tribute effect, bring back. It starts to snowball out of control. It's only once per turn, but that Omni Negate would have made a huge difference. So you see he goes Chaos Max, Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, and Chaos Max, which isn't that much of a problem for this deck because of Apprentice Illusion, and because she's accessible off of navigation. So I just ended up using Apprentice Illusion on the Chaos Max, and at this point I have full control of the game. Because he's on low resources, this being unable to be targeted really doesn't matter for me, because I can just go into Access Code Talker. This is why Celine is so good in this deck. So as you see, I just went Celine to bring back Apprentice, and then got another Dark Magician so I could set up the navigation that I have in my hand. I went Secrets to feel more, and then I went straight into Access Code Talker. So I only have one card engraved to pop, so I ended up not banishing to pop the Imp, because I just want to save it in case I need to use his effect to pop. So then I just summon out Dark Magician. The reason why I did that is so that combination could be live in case he has basically a ritual spell in his hand, so I can negate it. And I have Soul, so I'm really set. So as you see, my field is just incredible, you guys. And if he had another ritual spell, I could have just combination tributed one of these to bring out Dark Magician Girl, and that's that. So that was game 1. Game 2. He opened Twin Twisters, so I see he sided in Twin Twisters, which actually is crazy. If I have Eternal Soul, he can just nuke my whole field for no reason. Depending on if I have the protection or not, because Dark Magic Expanded protects, and also the Fusion Monster Dragon Knight protects, but I didn't have either one of those. So his Twin Twisters was like very impactful. And I use Soul Servant basically to stack Apprentice, because essentially what I'm trying to do is next turn make sure that I can get navigation. But honestly, if you check my grave, I have Rod already. So if you guys notice, if you're wondering, oh, why didn't you just use the Soul Servant to stack Rod, is because I had Rod engraved, so I could just add him to hand. So basically next turn I'd have Rod and Apprentice Illusion, which means I could probably OTK him more than likely, because Rod and Apprentice Illusion are actually super aggressive together. You could just do so much off those 2 cards. But continuing, he ended up doing this again, the same play like last time. He used the Chaos Dragon to kill my Dark Magician and I floated. As you can see, I have a navigation, but because I floated, it changed my top deck, but Soul Servant's going to draw 2. So I ended up drawing 2 illusions. The ironic thing was, that's what I wanted to top deck in the first place. Then I go navigation. So I just have a super aggressive board. So right here, this is pretty much game. He Twin Twisters my Dark Magical Circle. It's not that it really matters at this point. Secrets, I ended up going for Ebon. So right here, I go for Ebon. Basically, I could have done another rank 7, but honestly, I just went for the Ebon so I can banish this, so I can clear the way for an OTK. So as you can see, he takes 15, 2k, 25, and 23, and that's game. So that's why I went for the Ebon, because it was the aggressive play. I just didn't want to give him another turn. So that was game 1 and game 2. Here's another duel against Chaos Max. This is a different one. See, he's playing Extravagance, Bingo Machine Go. So his deck's a bit more consistent, honestly. But this one ended up being a similar result as the other Chaos Max duel, where it was just a 2-0. So Souls to draw 2. I pitched those 2 because they were just completely dead in my hand. Now Soul Servant's live. So it's just like, I'm setting up, like if you see, I'm plussing so hard right now, you guys. Like, I'm just going in. I have a complete setup. I have navigation, I have combination, and Soul. The only thing I didn't have was Circle. So I chain navigation to that so I can get him out. And once I get him out, I'm going to have combination live. But this, wow, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that he ended up just like exiting out his app. So the final one, same dude, ironic. And I see he's playing Sheehan Spy. I think he's doing that so that when he summons his incantations in defense, he could activate this and give me his incantation to attack into it with Chaos Max for exactly 8,000. So that's a cheesy OTK right there. And he does have a way to do it, as you can clearly see. And if you see, so I have to go back because I didn't really explain too much on my turn. But if you see right here, honestly, I could exit out and then just restart it. So I just go load replay. So right here, this is my opening hand. This is insane too. I have Inheritance, I have Soul Servant and Souls. So whenever you open Souls and Soul Servant, that's a 2-card combo. You're just going to be able to get your Rod anyways, because what you do is just go Souls. I always dump Dark Magician Girl to set up combination. So if I already have him, I dump Dark Magician Girl, summon him, and then I use Soul Servant to stack Rod, and then I can immediately just banish it and get the Rod that I stacked. And then I have my normal summon. So that's a 2-card combo, because also Rod's going to search you whatever you need. Then after that, you just make the Spellbook engine. As you see, I have Inheritance. So if I hit Secrets off the Spellbook engine, I just go Secrets, Knowledge, draw 2. Then I use this to get my circle. I have a full setup, so I'll continue. Some of it's RNG, but a lot of it's guaranteed unless he has a hand trap. So I went Souls, Soul Servant to stack the Rod, which is the optimal play. Banish to draw the Rod normally. And then as you see, I went for Circle. Then I went for the Spellbook engine. I go for that first, but I ended up hitting the Knowledge, which kind of sucks because I couldn't get more spells engraved, but it's still totally fine. I draw 2. I drew into another Knowledge. I have Soul, Navigation, and I have Inheritance. Inheritance is kind of just a bluff. So what he did here, if you guys notice, the reason why I didn't interrupt or do anything until he went to battle phase is because I know that if I hold my navigation, if I could survive this turn, if I hold my navigation until his end phase, I can arguably OTK him on the follow-up. So what I did here was I activated Eternal Soul. So I legit activated Eternal Soul. You'll see. I'm going to press play. And I just searched Dark Magic Attack just to get him on field. So then I go for a Princess Illusion. Tribute that to get Rod. Change her defense attack. So if you see right here, what I should have done is what I was talking about. I should have just ate the 7,000 damage and then saved my navigation for in phase. So I basically go in phase navigation, summon out him, summon out Apprentice, because you still need her to beat over his monsters, and then summon this guy out too, the Shadow, onto the field. And then next turn I pretty much have an OTK because I still have Inheritance and I still have Rod, so I can just go Apprentice Illusion to beat over this. I can go into my rank 7. There's just so much I can do, and I can summon the fusion monster in battle phase because it's a quick play. So it's just like so much more that I could have set up to optimize my plays, but I didn't do that. And what I did instead, I just chunk blocked a little bit of the damage, but honestly my field could have been a lot more impressive if I just ate the 7k. I should have just ate the 7k, honestly. So I'm still pretty much set up to OTK him though, which is crazy. Even though I didn't do the optimal play, I just had so much aggression, I had so much, like, it's crazy. I had so much field presence, it was ridiculous. So battle phase, I swing, because he's at 35 because I went expanded on him. Dark Magic Expanded is just crazy, you guys. And he surrendered. And as you see, like, I'm up on so much advantage. I have double combination. And if you guys check, I do actually have the Dark Magician Girl because I sent it off Soul. And also I have Eternal Soul to bring back the Dark Magician. So I have basically double combination right here. I was going to set the third, so I have triple Omni Negates because it's a soft once per turn. So I was going to negate all 3 cards in his hand. So I had complete control over that duel. So for something, I guess, more meta relevant, I'll go Dark Magician against Dinos. Here's game 1. So right here, I'll pause. His opening hand, he actually had full combo if you really consider it. He kind of had full combo, but well, no, I'm sorry, he didn't have a baby. I'm sorry, that's actually a Giant Rex. So his hand's kind of bricky if you look at it, because he can basically go miscellaneous. He can summon out the Archosaur dude and search out a pill, but he still basically would have to get hit something that's not a dino in the grave. So his hand is like missing 1 card, like a Fossil Dig, an Oviraptor, or a baby. But honestly, his hand right now, all it needs is just that 1 card, and since there's like 3, 6, 9, 11 potential top decks, or even Lost World counts, his hand could easily become live. As you see, my hand, I have Souls and Rod, and I have double combination, so I have a complete setup for multiple Omni Negates, because Souls can get Dark Magician. So this is just going to be crazy, as you guys are going to see. So play. I send Dark Magician Girl, summon him, so I can set up my combination. That's why I did that. I didn't send Dark Magician. So then I go Circle RNG'd into a Servant, which is crazy. So then I go for Navigation, because Navigation, like I said, I told you guys turn 1, Navigation is insane, you guys. So unfortunately I hit the Blue Boy off the Spellbook engine, but basically I have double combination and Nav, so I chain Nav to his Miscellaneous' effect, just so I can get these bodies on field. And I keep him because obviously once I go combination, I can just basically just get it right back. So it's crazy. But he goes battle phase, he attacks over this. As you guys see, he drew his overtext, and that's a 1-up. So he drew 2 of his 1-ups, and his Dark Ruler No More doesn't work against my deck, because I don't really use effect monsters that heavily on my opponent's turn. I summon vanillas on my opponent's turn for the most part. So as you see, my hand is just insane. I'm going off. I'm going to go back previous to where I had that set up for my next turn. Because if you guys see, that's why it's really important to set up Rod turn 1. Because on your opponent's turn, you're going to trigger it again. So not only is it important to set up Rod turn 1, but you need to get it in your graveyard. You can chain block effectively on your opponent, and that's where a card like this could be more impactful, because the shenanigans off him in Circle, where you basically tribute the Dark Magician to get this back, trigger Circle to banish, trigger him to bring the Dark Magician back. But what ended up happening was I had to use the combination. I used it on the graveyard effect of Miscellaneous because I didn't know what his hand was. I didn't want him to get the Archosaur on field, because then I can't do anything to it because he put me under Miscellaneous. So I did the right play by negating the banish effect, and I still have another combination for worst case scenario. But what I should have done, honestly, was summon her in attack position, because his Miscellaneous could have just attacked over her. So then I go Circle, but I didn't even know he had Miscellaneous, honestly. Then I go for the blue boy that I searched next turn, and I'm just setting up my plays now. Knowledge, Inheritance. I'm just plussing so hard. I have Soul Servant, so now I'm gonna be able to draw, I believe, 2 cards if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and I drew a Souls and another Rod, so it's just getting insane now. Like, I have so much advantage up on this Dinosaur player right now that, like, he's on a clock now. He has like 1 or 2 turns. But I think actually I end up OTKing him right here. So I go battle phase, attack for 23, and then I go activate secrets, attack for 28, and then I go combination. See, what I should have done was I think I should have just normal summoned the Magician's Rod, but I got a little bit greedy, because I think if I normaled the Rod, I probably would have had the OTK, but I just wanted the extra advantage on him. So the game could have been over that turn if I went for Rod, because I think, yeah, actually, because I could have grabbed the extra of the quick play to summon a set of Dark Magicians in battle phase. And see, he's at 27. He would have took 28. But let's go back to a few steps. So his hand, like I said, is still not that great. I did give him the Missing Grave, honestly. I gave that to him. So press play. So this is where I went combination. Okay, so that's what he ended up doing. I see. So I'm going to go back a little bit so you guys can see the play that just happened. So here's what happened. So press play. He goes Dark Ruler No More, which to me doesn't make sense because both of these have graveyard effects. So then I go combination on Miscellaneous Sources effect, bring him out. And then when he vanishes to special, I use combination again to negate that, keeping him in a simplified game state. He normals the Rex. It just attacks over the Apprentice. Main phase 2, he goes for Conductor. He ended up using Conductor chaining to my Eternal Soul to book. Now, I can trigger Circle to banish this because I negated his Miscellaneous, so it's not unaffected. So he ends with just a Peel and a Rex, so he ended up surrendering. So that's game 1 against Dinos. Game 2. Clearly, as you can see, because there's a game 3, he got game 2. But I did open insane. I got a lot of RNG spells, but the thing is, there's still a luck factor to it. So it depends on what I draw. So I went Knowledge, and then I go Inheritance, Soul Servant, basically to stack the souls, and then I go Allure to guarantee the souls. I go Souls to send Dark Magician Girl. Like, I'm just setting up my plays. And then Circle hit another Servant, which is kind of unfortunate. Then I see the Rod. So I have Imperm and Ash, but a Navigation that's basically dead. And this is very unfortunate that he opened Lost World. As you guys see, his hand is insane. Last game he may have bricked, but his hand, he had Pink, he had Lost World, he had Overraptor and Mist and Fossil Dig and a Baby. So his hand just, compared to the last hand he had, it's the complete opposite. So I did the best I could. I actually, basically to make sure that I can at least keep somewhat of my field presence, I basically use the Imperm now because I won't have an opportunity to use it later to make him force the Pankratops early. So that way at least that's less damage on board. Potentially I might not get OTK'd. He chained it to pop the Navigation, which is still fine because it's engraved now. I could use it for a follow-up negation. So now I'm locked out of targeting. So Circle wouldn't matter, Imperm wouldn't matter. And for some reason this is strange because his hand was super insane. So I think I don't know what it was. Something happened on his end where he just lost connection. I don't know. But I think maybe this is probably a different Dino player than I put game 3 for some reason, my bad. So this is a completely different Dino player. But this is another duel against Dinos. Just a different dude. So my opening hand, I have Souls, I have Circle, I have Soul Servant and Illusion and Combination. So like I have a full setup. All I need at this point is just navigation. So I'm going to press play. So I send the Circle to draw. I ended up drawing into the Knowledge. Then I go Soul Servant to stack the Rod, which guarantees I get my engine going and I can start grinding. He imperms the Magician's Rod. I chain Illusion to make him miss his target so that I get a +2, and then I resolve the Rod anyways for navigation. So in this instance, his hand trap didn't do anything at all to me. In fact, it was a -1. Because I made him miss target and I got everything that I wanted to get. So I have combination set up. So I basically have a full setup to get my board established. I have a Banish, I have an Omni Negate, and I have Ash Blossom. So I'm super confident in my setup. So I feel like I'm just gonna body this Dinosaur player. I trigger Rod immediately to get my Rod back to hand. I ended up ashing his Miscellaneous to special, and then he gave up. But as you can see, his hand, that was the only play he had. And I still had the combination for an Omni Negate. I still had not triggered the Circle yet to banish. Because I could just activate, if he summons something, I could legit just activate this just to get a body on field. Activate it just to trigger this to summon Dark Magician. So all the dinos I played so far I beat. Let's go against... Oh, versus Shadol. This is nice. Or Eldlich Myakashi, this one was super interesting. So against the Eldlich Myakashi, the games are kind of all over the place. That's game 2, that's game 3. Okay, here we go. Here's game 1. So against Eldlich Myakashi. So this is his opening hand. So my opening hand, I have Double Rod, Apprentice, I have Shadow, and I have Soul. Going first, that's an incredible hand. Going second, it could still at least clear 2 threats. I have 2 ways to bait interruptions. I'm either going to attack over it. This can be negated. If it's not destroyed, I just have this basically to be able to beat over. But I don't know that I'm playing Eldlich. And he had a 1-card combo plus insane follow-ups. And he had a Call by the Grave, which this is going to come into play later because it just kills Rod. So you see, he goes full combo for my Myakashis. He uses her to dump the Golden Lord, and he sets up his Golden Lord, which was actually super smart that he did that, because now all of his Golden Lands get their best effects. So what he did, he sacrificed the Myakashi full combo to set up his Golden Lord, which was actually super big brain. So I didn't realize that this deck was actually really good. Dark Magician, I go for Circle. So here, as you see, I got my Dark Magician out. So he didn't interrupt any of these. So these resolved. Now I'm going for Circle. I'm cautious to not play it in any of these columns because I don't know if he has Imperm or not. So I played it in the only vacant slot. And what he does is he ended up conquistadoring it. So now I just go attack, get rid of her, and then I go into my spellbook plays. I get Blue Boy, unfortunately. If I would have hit Secrets or Knowledge, I could have went further, but basically at this point, I'm living on a prayer off of Eternal Soul and Soul Servant, which isn't very optimal. He honestly has enough to OTK me. And what I did here was, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to get OTK'd or not, but I need to trigger my Soul immediately to try to get my Rod back and set this body up on field. I did not know that he was going to have a way to out my Soul. Because if I'm not mistaken, he does end up outing the Soul. Because I'm thinking like, you know, well, right now, the only way he could out it is probably through another Conquistador, which that would mean he would have to open 2. But he ends up outing the Soul anyways. He ends up basically reborning it. He reborns one of his Synchros that pops a back row. This card right here. And I just preemptively changed Soul Servant because it doesn't target, and I knew he was going for my soul anyways. So I surrendered because he has game on board. So that was game 1. And then I'm going to go down to versus Eldlich Myakashi game 2. So game 2, as you see, I have Soul, Ash, Circle, Soul Servant, and Judgment. So I feel really confident. I didn't use my Judgment as impactful as it should have been used. Honestly, you'll see later in this duel that I got upset at myself at when I used it, because I used it on the card that I was already banishing, and I kind of got upset that I did that. Because right as I did it, I was like, wait a minute, why did I just do that? I was trying to banish it in the first place. Man, So I went Soul Servant to stack my Rod and get the best normal summon in the deck. He goes Ash Blossom, so I played through the Ash just by going Circle. I RNG. So what I should have done was went to the spellbook engine first, then got the circle, so I know what I'm drawing. But I did it backwards. I'm loading up my grave now, so I can go inheritance. And basically, I get navigation set up. So I use her to pitch the blue boy because I need Ash and Judgment for interrupts. And I have navigation and judgment set up, so I still have a setup. So I end up going nav on the activation of the continuous so that I can banish it before he gets a chance to use his effect. I chain block with Rod, and then I get him to bring back the same Dark Magician that I got out that I attributed off of the Rod. Then I have Ash. What right here, if you guys notice, I didn't Ash the spell. Because the reason being is because just in case he had the card he was trying to search anyways, I didn't want to Ash this just so he normal summons the Hajun anyway. So I waited for him to normal it, and then I use the Ash, as you see. So I Ash that. Then he goes Elixir. I didn't Judgment it because it wasn't going to hurt me. But right here, this card, I end up trying to banish it. And because I'm trying to OTK him, I end up negating it with Judgment, which I was very upset at myself for doing that. Because it's better to banish this to decrease his follow-ups than to Judgment it, just trying to be greedy for damage. So I should not have done that. That was a huge misplay, just thinking that I had game, but I didn't. Because, look, you'll see. The RNG didn't work. So I went to banish his Golden Lord because that's a smart play to do. And basically next turn I have Celine. She gets 4 counters. So I end up using her to Reborn Shadow. Reason being is because he's once where he's face up on the field. So I could actually use him to reborn my Dark Magician. All I have to do is just literally activate combination. That's it. He goes Curse Elden. I use navigation to negate it. And then I trigger his effect to summon Dark Magician, and then I banish the back row. And since he's set from his deck, I know which is which. The game state recognizes it, and I can see which is which. So then at this point, I just navigation to negate his Golden Land to keep him in the simplified game state. I know that I should be able to either OTK him, or I can disrupt that one back row because I have combination. So I'm pretty confident. Because I have Dark Magician Growth, so if he activates it, combination negates it. So I got that game. I had full control over it. But his Eldlich cards really carried him. Like the Myakashi was just like a supplement. But his Eldlich, the Eldlich engine for his deck was just insane, you guys. I'll go to game 3, and then that'll be the end of this video. If you guys want to see more, I have Dark Magicians versus Shaddolls, Madolche, Cyber Dragons, a Kaiju deck. This is just as far as I can get for right now. So I opened Rod. He had Ash for the Rod, so I chain Illusion Magic. It doesn't make Ash miss, but I was going to use Illusion Magic either way, so I just chain Illusion Magic anyways to grab both my Dark Magicians. And then at this point, I go fusing those two off to get him out on field. So basically, I could use combination and then summon him out onto the field. So I'm chain blocking here. I get to draw. I don't set this because I just really want to keep it in hand for sure. He ends up sitting off my combination. I don't think he read it. So I use what I do. This is crazy what happened. So he set off a chain reaction. He used Golden Lord to send my combination. What I did instead of popping this, giving him advantage, is I popped my own fusion monster, which triggered its effect. So you'll see here. So it triggered its effect basically. So I'll take a couple steps back. And since I don't have any other way to activate a spell effect, I also use Rod to tribute my illusion. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to wait to use his effect to basically, for when I use combination, just activate it, you know, and then use his effect to reborn. But I couldn't do that, so I ended up just going Rod. So I chain block. So you see chaining 1, chaining 2, chaining 3. Boom, boom, boom. I have Rod in hand now, so I have my next turn follow-ups. And then the illusion ended up triggering to get the Dark Magician out from grave. That's why I have 2. And then I have Dark Magician Growth. So I have basically just a wall. That's all I have right now. And him, he's kind of grinding. He has Counter Trap. He has 2 ways to put Golden Lord on field. So he doesn't have any Golden Lands to disrupt, but he does have an Omni Negate. And he ends up using it on the Circle, which is smart. Because Circles can just kill Eldlich because it just constantly banishes. But he had a way to go into his Myakashi plays. And this was crazy because, like, this card right here is just an insane follow-up. It just lets you dump any zombie. So he's kind of like, we're in a grind right now basically where we're kind of even on resources. I have more board advantage right now, but his deck has more longevity because all of his cards replace himself in grave. So I kind of have to be a little aggressive here playing into Nibiru territory. Because what I'm trying to do is go Draco Sack so that I can set up a Draco Sack that's indestructible. And and I'm trying to just bait his back rows right here. And as you see, if I go pause, so as you see, now that I think of it, I feel like I had game. The reason why I feel like I had game and what I could have done better is I could have just flat out went into Access Code Talker and Ebon Illusion. So Ebon Illusion, when I declare an attack with Dark Magician, would just banish this, and then I just swing for 25. Because remember, this could have been Ebon Illusion. Remember that the Draco Sack could have been Ebon Illusion, and basically I would still have her. And as you see, I used the Selene, so I could have just made this Ebon Illusion and then used the Ebon Illusion, summon Dark Magician, and then basically link this and this into Access Code Talker and put him at 5300, and then just attack for game. So I really messed up right here because I could have OTK'd him, so I could have beat him. But instead, we ended up going in a grind, and the reason being because I was overthinking my plays. And let me double check. Ah, snap. Never mind. Now that I'm sitting here recurring, I did think that played through. I just forgot as I'm talking that there's a Dark Magician in my grave. So I couldn't do the Ebon Illusion play anyways. My bad, you guys. I'm saying this right now, watching my replay, thinking that I could have done that. But I see now that as I was in this duel, that I probably already thought of that. But there was all my Dark Magicians were gone, so I couldn't go Ebon Illusion. So I did pretty much the next best thing, which, like, dang. I really wish that I had a Dark Magician in deck because I could have had game just off that. But I ended up using her to bring back my Dark Magicians, so it's just an official grind game now. I use that to stack my circle. I have Rod and Grave, so I end up just tributing the Selene because I've used her up, and I can't protect her by battle with the Illusion because it only works for Dark Spellcasters. So he's just doing his Myakashi plays, he's just synchro climbing up the ladder. His follow-ups are insane too, so this is a really, really difficult grind game for me. I have an indestructible Draco Sack. I have this is gonna float. This is basically gonna have to be attacked into, otherwise he'll lose it. He'll lose out on some advantage. But it's getting really, really ugly right now. For me, he has this Myakashi Link 4, so like for me, it's starting to get really ugly because he gains so much advantage on me. So this was a terrible grind game. Now this is where I really wish that I had my other Dark Magician because it would have been on and popping already, and I could have just OTK'd him. It's crazy. Like if you guys saw, basically what I did with the Selene and everything, that's like turn 2 if I'm not mistaken. So basically I had a turn 1 setup, turn 2 kill, if I would have had a Dark Magician in my deck. So Dark Magician is super aggressive, you guys, as you can see. I know the deck is like a euphoric deck and people think it doesn't do anything, but I'm showing you guys these duels to show you this deck really does do stuff. He went for the Myakashi to negate this and make it 0. It doesn't make sense. I know that he can make it 0 because it makes it 0 first and negates, but he should have just negated my Draco Sack. So I don't know why he did that. So he goes Conquistador. I ended up popping the Golden Lord just to get rid of it. I'm just trying my best to simplify the game state myself, trying to pick his board apart. I crashed my Rod into the Golden Lord because I want it engraved so I can recur it for my follow-ups. I allured with no hand just to see if I could get lucky off of it. I got a navigation, so I just hold it. I should have just set the navigation in case I go for illusion magic off Rod to get the 2 Dark Magicians from grave. I should have done that, but I kept it in my hand. So you see, we're still grinding. I'm just basically walling up, and he had the call by from my Rod, so it kind of just shut me down. Like, Rod being called by just puts me so far behind, and he has this. Basically, I didn't Shining Soul, I just let it die because I didn't want to lose my whole board. I still have combination, but the main problem here, I'm gonna pause. There we go. The main problem here, with the combination, so let me pause, let me go back here. Because I'm trying to go back. I was talking, but I ended up using, that's the thing. As you guys can see, so I'll go right here. So I ended up using both my combinations. So that's the problem here, is I used them too early. See? If I would have saved the combination, I could have used it on the Claw by the Grave, and that would have guaranteed that my Rod would be in my hand for my follow-up. Because since we're in the grind game, I feel like if I would have saved one combination for that call by, I didn't know he had call by, but if I would have had one for the call by to get the Rod, my follow-up would have been strong enough where I can get aggressive again and I can break his board again. Rod is just insane, I'm telling you guys. Even though he has a Conquistador, but this is where it gets really, really ugly. You guys will see. He breaks my entire board. He kills every card on my field. Now I'm in a terrible situation. So as you see, just by holding the combination for the rod, I would have had a follow-up. So that allure that I top decked could have been more impactful because I could have basically went rod, search illusion magic, tribute him to grab 2 dark magicians from grave, allure, draw 2, keep 1, then my navigation's live, as you guys can see. But it's just like, dang. And you see what I drew off the allure. So I would have kept these 2 cards because I would have just banished the Dark Magician. So then I would have had Soul and Emperor. So I feel like I could have got back in the game. I don't know how far it was going to last. I don't know if I was going to win. But as you can see here, I lost. So I surrendered. That was game 3. And that's pretty much it for this one, you guys. I'm going to do more Dark Magician duels. As you guys can see, I grinded a lot. Look at all these Dark Magician duels that I have. All of these are Dark Magician. I was grinding a lot with this deck. But that's it for right now. I didn't have enough time to get all of them in here. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to say a quick prayer and I'll be out. God bless you guys. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Amen. Alright, you guys. Deuces is wild. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Peace.